welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to refinish these two chairs that I found in someone's trash. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm spraying them with a vinegar and water solution, 50-50, and this is just so I can get them cleaned up really well. Now before I brought them inside, I did spray them down with insecticide and let them sit out in the sun for a few hours just to make sure I didn't bring any bugs in the house. So here I'm using a coarse scrub brush just to loosen up some more of the dirt from the cushions. Once I have the cushions scrubbed down, then I am using the same vinegar and water solution and a rag just to wipe them down really good. Once I have that done, one of the chairs did have a little wobble in it, so I'm just driving some extra wood screws into the frame to sturdy it up. And one thing I did not film was I took some 13 by 13 squares, cut the corners off, and I attached them to the frame that's directly under the cushions. Because these chairs were the type that were made without wood underneath, and they just had a mesh that held the cushions firm. But since these chairs are from the 1980s, that meshing was not very durable anymore. Now here you can see the cushion looks a little different color. I didn't film my first coat, but what I'm doing is I have wet the cushion down with a spray bottle of water, and then I'm mixing paint, fabric softener, and a little bit of water. And what this is doing is it's making a dye for my fabric, and the fabric softener is going to keep it from getting too crunchy. Once I have this mixed up, then I'm going to be taking a rag, and you want to make sure that your rag has been saturated with water and wrung out. You want to make sure it's wet. So your cushion needs to be wet, your rag needs to be wet, and then your paint needs to make sure you have water in it. And you want it fairly thin because you're literally dyeing the fabric. And then I just dip into my solution of paint and fabric softener and water and start rubbing it onto my seat cushion. And I just do this process over the entire cushion seat. Now once I was finished with this, I did let these dry overnight, and I did that with both coats, so this is not a one-day project. Now I could have gone back and done a third coat and made it a darker gray, but I just really liked the color that they came out after the second coat, so I did not go any further. And also, if you do this process and you do find that maybe your solution was a little bit thick and your paint is just a slightly crunchy, all you have to do is take a sanding block and just sand over the fabric, and it'll soften it right up. And now I'm just wiping the paint that ran down the chairs because it is runny, and I just want to make sure I get that all cleaned up off of the wood frame. Once I have that done, I went in and I removed the seat cushions, which was super easy. It was just one screw in each corner, so I had to take out 4 screws. Took the chairs outside and I'm sanding them down. Now as you'll see, I am not sanding the finish completely off. I am just basically doing kind of a light sanding to roughen them up, but the reason that I want some of this finish still left on there, or at least this color, is because I am going to be staining these with a paint mixture of paint and water, and I wanted some of that brown to come through. So I'm actually using a black paint mixed with water, And the first coat is pretty thin. So I'm just wiping it on with a dry rag, and then I will be going and wiping over it with another rag to get the excess off. Now, the first coat is the only one that I will be wiping the excess off. When we get to the second coat, I'm going to be doing that one a little bit differently. So as you can see, this has darkened this up considerably already just with the first coat. But if you look in the background, my table, it does have an espresso colored base, and so I wanted these chairs to be able to still have their wood grain, but to go nicely with my table. And then I did let the chair dry completely before I went in with the second coat. Now the second coat I made a little bit thicker. It's still paint and water, but it is thicker than the first coat. I didn't want it to be as runny, and I am going to be wiping this on, but I will not be wiping over it with another rag. Once I wipe it on, I'm going to leave it. And it might look a little strange whenever I'm applying it, but once it dries, the finish is beautiful. The only thing that I didn't have on hand that I thought I did, which I need to go back and do later, and I suggest if you do this method that you do this also, and that is using a satin spray sealer to spray these with. I will go back and do that at some point. I will link below the paint that I'm using on this because it is a paint and primer mixture, and we've been using these chairs for a couple of weeks now and they are holding up really nicely. And here they are after they're all finished. The seat cushions are dry. Now in the video you can see a little bit of pilling on those on the front, but I don't really notice it outside of the camera, so I'm not too worried about that. But here they are. They go so beautifully with my table. Now don't look at the top of my table either, that's going to be refinished next. But they just turned out so beautiful and completely free out of someone's trash. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day.